All right, how's it going, guys? I'm going to get into the VP versus HR match in a second. I just want to bring up two things real quick. Number one, uh, I just wanted to see whether or not you can post your responses and comments below, but I just wanted to see whether or not you guys would like to see shorter videos. Maybe instead of going to all the pages and pulling up the information, I just represent it all in text, broken down to you just on text on the screen and talk through it, or if you do like to see the actual pages with the actual information laid out how they have been. And then number two is I wanted to know if you guys would like me to produce some text as far as like a Facebook page or Twitter that are just quick updates on what I think about the matches. If you guys would be interested in seeing that, just let me know in the comments below. All right, so I'm going to start with the match here. Virtus Pro versus HR. This is going to be the last one that I'm going to do for tonight. I'll pick up on NIP and farther down tomorrow morning. So in the next 7 or so hours, you'll probably see those videos coming out. But anyways, for the Virtus versus HR game, I'll tell you right off the bat, I think Virtus is definitely going to take this game. There isn't any reason why they shouldn't, but there is a possibility that HR could take the game in an upset. With that being said, Virtus just came off their win against NIP on the CS:GO Legends, and they definitely showed NIP up there. They didn't have too much of a problem, especially on Mirage, which this match is taking place on. But as you can see, I'll go farther into that, but the odds right now are almost 75% in favor of Virtus. Hopefully that evens out a little bit for the sake of my bet. But we'll take a look at HLTV now real quick. And as you can see, it is for Face It again, which all the matches coming up will be. It's going to be a best of one on Mirage. And we got the usual lineups here. For Virtus, like I said, they just absolutely showed Nip up on that best. It did go to five maps, but they definitely played very well the entire time. Um, they all did well. Snacks, Neo, Taz, Pasha, Bialy, they all did really well. HR has just been looking really inconsistent lately. I mean, they've got great players. They've got Adren, Kucher, Merkelov, Doja, Angel. They're all really good players, but whether or not they're going to actually pick it up or they're going to play that day is something to be said because they are really consistent. As you can see, Pasha is the highlight here, 1.17 KD. And you can see the last five matches here. We got HR um, playing really rocky. They lost to Navi twice and Nip before that. But they did beat Virtus before that. And then as far as Virtus's last five, as you can see, they won the 3-2 versus Nip. They did lose to Fnatic before that, but they beat Nip on cash. And then lost to HR in that same best of three, and then beat Navi on Dust 2. So I'll just take a look at their last Mirage matches since that's what this map is going to be. So the last one was against Nip on Mirage, and they absolutely destroyed Nip on Mirage. I mean, Nip obviously just they weren't even playing like they cared that game. Taz 22-6, Pasha 21-8, Snacks 12-4. Nip just didn't even show up for that map at all. You know, they came back and brought it to five maps, but as far as Mirage goes, they just got absolutely destroyed and they weren't even playing really. So then we'll look at LDLC versus Virtus. And it's one that Virtus lost on Mirage, and this is a possibility that could happen. You know, Taz going 26-23, which isn't very good. Bialy 19-22. Taz was the only one that did anywhere near decent. Everybody else on Virtus did pretty bad in that match. But historically, they're very good at Mirage, and I'll show you that later when I go into the map details. So HR's Mirage maps, uh, this last one was against Navi, in which they lost 16-8. They didn't play very well at all that entire Star Series, and as you can see, none of the players did very well. Doja was 18-17. That's about as good as it got for them on that match. So the one previous to that was against Mouse, in which they won 16-9. And this is what happens when HR plays well on Mirage. Kucher 25-12, Merkelov 24-15, Dren 21-16. They all did really well. And they definitely have the possibility to play well on Mirage. They're not terrible at it, but I think that Virtus is much better at Mirage. And then just to move on, the CS:GO bet predictor, we got Virtus with 60% over 40 for HR. And then as you can see here, their best map at 76% wins is Mirage for Virtus. It's Inferno for HR, which doesn't matter because this game is on Mirage. And then just to go further into their map details, as you can see, they've only got one Virtus versus HR map on here on Mirage, which isn't a big deal. More interested in when they play any team in their overall stat, and they are 75% winning on Team Mirage, which is a pretty big deal. And then further, if you look at their CT half win rate, it's 78%, along with 65% for their T side. So if they get choice aside and they take CT side, they're pretty well guaranteed to win that side. And then they're also very good at T side as well. And then move on to HR playing on Mirage, and you can see they're just not quite as good. They 63% overall, and then almost 75% win on CT side, but only about half on T side. So if they get on CT side, it could be an interesting game if they take that side first. But if they start on T side, they're going to have a hard time winning it, especially over Virtus. And then the last thing that I'm going to pull up here is just the KDs, and you can see that Virtus definitely has the edge with Pasha and Snacks. And then Doja for HR is right behind, and then Taz right behind him, and then the rest of the players following. There isn't a huge gap between any of the players from top to bottom. There's a 0.2 gap between them. So they're all great, high caliber players, but I think that it's pretty clear that Virtus, with the streak that they're on, and how they've been playing lately, has definitely got the edge over a shaky looking, inconsistent HR. So that's why the odds are looking like that. Hopefully they balance out a little bit. I'll show you my bet here. I did go pretty big on Virtus, so let's hope that they take it. You can see right here, hopefully the odds balance out a little bit better so I can get more than 10 out of this. But I'm going all the way in on Virtus, and I think they definitely are going to win this game. So, as always, it's just some information for you to work through, and always come to your own conclusions. Let me know what you think about those two suggestions that I brought up at the beginning of the episode in the comments below. And as always, have fun winning some skins, guys. See you later.